Is right here. All of your problems. Yes, I'm aware. Hey everybody, this is Blacktivism again. I'm just giving y'all a update. Um, despite the fact that my personal situation is not very good or ideal, I'm still putting a lot of effort into the WMLU and its agendas. And I've run into some roadblocks. Um, a politician with whom I put more stock in the relationship than they obviously did told me that, they would have to back away from me and not be associated with me professionally or for any marketing pursuits because of the stunt that I pulled when I dressed up like an old lady and held the sign that said, "Now I have to be afraid of KKK and niggas." Since that happened, I've been torn because people in the political field can help me push the agenda to get the Bow movement going and creating the programs that are defined on my website. At the same time, people in politics have a very interesting position because there are so many things that can be thrown in their faces through the media to taint their reputations. Um, yeah, that's a phone ringing in the background. But anyway, and I was giving the example Barack Obama when his teacher preached a sermon about damn America. And he wasn't talking about damn America as if he was an enemy of America. He was talking about the things that happen in America are evil and not godly. But that snippet was taken out of context and thrown into the media as if to say, Barack Obama's pastor is an enemy of America, and that makes Barack Obama an enemy of America. He shouldn't be president, and Barack Obama had to back away and disown the church pretty much for political reasons. And that's funny because we worry about issues like that. But what about the children in the ghetto who are being reared by parents who had it ingrained into them that they don't have to be as good as the rest of society, that they aren't expected to be productive, get educations, get jobs, save money, build a future for your children? And if the parent doesn't learn that, then the parent can't teach it to the children. And we all know this problem exists. While we have the media swooping in telling us that our culture is, our culture includes gangbanging and women trading their bodies for name brand clothes or cars or jewelry, violence and drug dealing and exploiting each other and harming each other. That's okay. I've talked to people around this city about advancing my agenda, and I get good lip service and no results. But I guess that is to be expected. If a person can let themselves down, then someone else definitely can let them down. I really wish I didn't have to make a post like this, but it's necessary because I intend to keep the public up to date on what's going on with the WMLU and the Bow movement. I have to break the rules to get people to pay attention. What little attention that gets paid to me anyway, because for the most part, we live in a society that teaches us that if we have the things we need for ourselves, then the hell with everybody else. That's why Jesus talked about greed and the love of money and cherishing children more than anything else. And if you think about it, that's the last thing we do in our society. We lie to our kids about all types of things. But the most ridiculous one is probably the idea that a fat man comes down the chimney and brings you gifts while teaching that young child not to lie to you. It's absolutely ridiculous. People really need to wake up and start thinking about what's going on in this country. If you love this country and the freedom that it has, then why not love that freedom for everyone? If we reduce the need for welfare programs entirely by improving the communities that breed people who need those programs, then we can fund so many other more important things. What about the people who paid all their money into Social Security and risk losing it? What about infrastructure? What about schools? We waste so much money on prison and then release the people into society worse off than they were to wreak more havoc on society, whether it be by committing crimes or wasting more tax dollars by getting incarcerated all over again. I can't be the only one that cares about this. When we live in a society where the media tells everyone what to think and when to think it, people don't get time to think about what I'm talking about. Black people get leaders who want to focus on racism because it furthers an agenda that wants to keep us dependent on government programs. However, as I said before, we don't need these programs, and these programs don't contribute to any of the solutions. But our leaders won't talk about the fact that you can't talk about a Jew, can't call a person gay, can't call a person fat, but you win awards for making music about killing niggas and selling drugs and pimping black women and black women exploiting themselves for financial gain. It's absurd. And I don't know how many people are actually going to pay attention to this, but you know what? I'm not going to stop. And I'm going to turn it up a notch. You know what? I'm going to start pulling stunts that people can't ignore because somebody's got to do it, and I might as well be the guy. What do I got to lose, right? I'm a homeless social activist. I work where I can, when I can. I'm trying to find a job, but it gets difficult. It's crazy because my resume is insane, but I'm overqualified for a lot of jobs, and a lot of people don't want to hire the person that they know can replace them at the drop of a hat. Be that what it is. I'm still pushing what I'm pushing. Jesus didn't worry about where he lived or what was going on with that. The prophets didn't worry about things like that. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite songs right now is Jireh, You Are Enough. And the lyrics in that song say, if he clothed the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will he clothe you? If he watches every sparrow, how much more does he love you? So I don't have to feel ashamed about my position in life. At least I'm trying to accomplish something that matters. I could be one of those people who's worrying about working and paying my bills and my car note and taking care of my family and having all the toys and letting everybody else suffer. Well, I'm not that guy, and I'm not standing for it. And, if you want to hate on what I'm doing, then hate, but I can't stop. Jesus talked about this once. To paraphrase, he says, a prophet will never be loved amongst his own family and in his own community. So I'll take the hate. I'll take the abuse. Throw what you want to throw at me. I don't care. Yeah, I've been to prison. Yeah, I've had to deal with some mental health issues. Yeah, I'm staying at a mission right now because I could have paid my bills. I could have had a savings if I wasn't building the We Must Love Us Foundation by myself. But since, There was no money coming in from the GoFundMe account. I tried. So I had to do it all myself. And when I lost my job, that is what it is. And I'm right here. But you know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to put me first. I'm not going to use the skills and the abilities that God blessed me with to advance myself and leave everybody else behind. So, you know what? If my people are suffering, I'm suffering with them. I'm living in a mission. And I'm giving everything I got to create some programs to start changing the lives of people who go through hell because they grew up in environments subjected to the ignorance ingrained in people due to systematic racism. So, yeah, this is me ranting. This is me losing it a little bit. But I can't help but to feel passionate about what I believe. And we deserve better than this. We deserve to learn how to treat ourselves better. But there's a system that's been in place to prevent that from happening for a very long time. And somebody's got to step up and willing to say the hard things and do the tough things and be the enemy of the system the way that it works. And you know what? That person's going to be me. I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm just trying to make a difference. Maybe somebody will choose to support me.